Good evening from my part of the world. It's another 8 p.m. 14 days to 14th September. Fourteen days to 14th September. How has your week been? Another one has started. That's the birthday week. Hooray! How has your week been? How was last week? It's another evening. 14 days to 14th September. The lying vanities. The lying vanities. When we encounter struggles and we think either they will kill us, either this is how life will end for us, or there is no way out, forgetting that no situation is permanent, no condition is permanent. As long as we get knowledge and we get more ideas and we know what to do to turn our situations around, no condition is permanent, meaning no hardship is supposed to destroy us too. They are not supposed to be forever. The lying vanities, all the hardships and unpleasant situations will not last forever. And yes, they are illusions that whisper permanence in what is only temporary. I know you come from the angle, yes, but I've seen people struggle forever. Yes, just like I always say, anything we are struggling with means we need more knowledge and understanding into that. So as long as we are not willing and ready to get more knowledge about that area, the struggle will persist. But we have the capacity to get knowledge, to get understanding into that situation because it's not supposed to last forever. They are illusions that whisper permanence in what is supposed to be temporary. Unless we allow it, unless we allow it, they are illusions that whisper permanence in what is only temporary. Life has a way of confronting us with seasons of pain, uncertainty, and difficulty. It doesn't matter how you prepare for life. It doesn't matter whether you had parents who were futuristic enough to plan your life for you, whether you had a great agenda in place. Life has a way of confronting us with seasons of pain, uncertainty, and sometimes difficulties. In these moments, it is easy to believe that suffering will never end. Wotumi fa ahokyere bi ma ɛwɔ adwene sɛ nsesa biara mma da. Ɛwɛyɛ nsɛ yɛ na ɛbɛyɛ. But no, ɛbɛsesa. Ɛbɛsesa. They are all lying vanities. It is easy to believe that suffering will never end, that darkness would overshadow light, and that struggle is a permanent companion. No. Ahokyere biara bɛbɛ awieɛ. No situation is permanent, and our struggles, our pain are also not permanent unless we give them room to stay by staying in naivety, ignorance, no information, no control, living as if we don't know, we don't have any control. Then we can go through that situation for decades. But if we are willing and ready to own our lives and to know that anything we don't understand means we need knowledge about it, with that knowledge, we'll be able to break through. We'll be able to break through. So, whatever kind of pain, whatever kind of suffering, whatever kind of difficulty you are going through, understand that it's not supposed to last forever. And definitely, it won't last forever. It wouldn't last forever. There are times you feel like you are going to lose your mind, but nothing lasts forever. When you get into that situation, it's easier. The easiest form is to throw in the towel and just accept that, oh, say ya nebe ya kusi. And many a time people do that because they are not willing to own life yet. So when you are brave and you you desire change, as you desire breath, change will definitely come to you. So in those moments, it's easier to believe that suffering will never end, that darkness would always overshadow light. Darkness can never overshadow light unless the light continually dim. But it doesn't matter the small amount of light in the darkness, it would be able to meander through. Unless that light also gets so frightening that it begins to dim, then darkness can take control. Then that darkness can take control. And found a light in this suffer. As long as light need me, a rubber be a small no, light in the show, light may be peak. It would overshadow the darkness. And that struggle is not a permanent companion. Yet, these beliefs are what the old wisdom calls the lying vanities. The lying vanities, when we are tempted to believe that suffering will never end, that darkness would always overshadow light, and that struggle is permanent. It's a permanent companion. These are the beliefs that the old wisdom calls lying vanities. They are illusions that whisper permanence in what is only temporary. Only temporary. Only temporary. Only temporary. Every hardship has an expiry date. Every form of hardship has an expiry date. But if we don't do anything about it and think then time in itself would work at it, that is when it seems like it has become permanent. Every form of hardship has an expiry date. Just as winter eventually gives way to spring, just like dry season, it doesn't matter how dry and windy it gets, the wet season will eventually come. Saa na yɛahyehyɛ asase no. It doesn't matter how the dry season, how dry it gets, how windy it gets, how cold it gets, the wet season will still show forth. Trials eventually give way to relief. Every trial will eventually give way to relief. The human heart, however, your heart, my heart, however, is often tempted to give up in the middle of the storm, forgetting that storms move. Storms move. Storms move. They do not stand still. Every storm passes. No storm stands still. Storms move. They do not stand still. Pain convinces us that it is final, but in truth, it is only transitional. Wapra na bibi ya wo ya na wadwene ne sɛ da bɛn ɛna pain wei ɛyɛ a wei bɛfiri wɔ akɔ. Wadwene ne sɛ nkɔda. But sɛdeɛ Nyankopɔn nipadua no ɛte fa, that is supposed to heal itself. If you give yourself time and you treat that same pain or wound, it would heal. It would heal. Sɛdeɛ nipadua no te, that it is meant to heal itself. Every pain, every wound will heal. Sanhelia, not just that there is a problem beneath that pain. So now deeper research would have to get into it. Like obi or diabetics now went to chronin. It is not just a chrono. There are underlying factors. And typically, that is it. Every pain is supposed to heal. Every trial eventually is supposed to give way to relief. But the human heart is often tempted to give up in the middle of the storm, forgetting that storms move. No storm stands still. No storm stands still. It passes. It moves. It moves. Every storm will pass. So pressure ne basa denyara, it would pass. If we allow the pain to stay in our hearts forever, we end up destroying ourselves. No pain is supposed to be forever. No pain is supposed to last forever. And everybody you see is going through a pain, has been through a pain, or is going to go through pain. That is how life is. And that is how all of us grow. Some have trained ourselves so much that even when we share our pain with you, you won't believe. Because just like the human body is supposed to heal itself, I did chow, now the draw tasso, now to now mia, now call hospital could dress it would heal. The body is supposed to heal itself. So if the body is not healing, there are underlying causes aside that pain, that wound. But many a time we don't search for that underlying pain. Into your soya and it's destroying the body. It's destroying the body, causing a lot of people to age faster than their biological age. Because there is so much pain you are carrying, needless, unnecessary pain. I know your pain is valid, but for how long will you carry it? It's destroying you. Hi, Francis. Thank you for being on. The pain is destroying you. Pain can convince us that it's final. As an encoder, as an audio veterinary home for life, it is not supposed to be. It is not supposed to be. We are not supposed to be in pain forever. There comes a time our soul, our hearts are yearning for joy. Why do we still carry unnecessary pain and go through all this pain in life? No storm lasts forever. No storm lasts forever. Every hardship has an expiry date. Just as winter, it doesn't matter how difficult winter gets, eventually it would give way to spring. Has there been any year that all throughout it was just winter? No. And yes, no. Has there been any year that it has been dry season throughout? Definitely the wet season will come. So it doesn't matter how windy the dry season is. It doesn't matter how dry the dry season is. Eventually the wet season will come. Nti yɛhwɛ na pain ne dɔɔso ma yɛn sɛ nipa a yɛmmisa yɛn ho questions. Why is our pain not healing? Why are we not healing? Why are we not healing? Just like medicine would research into why a creature near the Adrubia Tari Sunen Sukroni, they would do deeper research into it. A diabetic person, when you get a wound, it takes a longer period because in your chronic there are underlying causes. So when our pain is getting longer to heal, let's search in us to find out why we are not healing. Because every hardship has an expiry date. And the same things that are troubling us, people have been through all of them and they never die. They were not destroyed. Why should our pain destroy us? Trials eventually give way to relief. It is our human heart that is deceiving us, that is tempted to give up in the middle of the storm, forgetting that no storm would stay at one place forever. Storms move, they do not stand still. Pain convinces us that is final. No, in truth, it is only transitional. Every pain is transitional. Challenges, though heavy, are often teachers, preparing you and I for growth and resilience. Into every area we feel so much pain, every area we feel so much lost. Let's get deeper knowledge, understanding into it. So, joy, there will be joy in our hearts. And just yet, we are saying with so much pain, unnecessary pain. No, it doesn't matter our background. It doesn't matter what the trauma that we grew up with. We can still have joy in our adult lives. So, cling to lying vanities is to magnify the temporary until it looks eternal. Say what you say, we pay no da. This is how life is supposed to end. And it has to be any baby. Ubetimi ekutema maybe the baby no. Na ye drew. Not because the object itself is heavy, but it's because you've carried it for so much long. This is 500 ml bottle of water. If I decide to carry this till midnight, it will become so heavy in my hands, and it will not be the fault of the bottle. It will not even be the weight of the bottle. It's just because I have decided to carry it for unnecessarily longer period. And many a time that's what happened. The same pain we are going through, other people have been through worse. That because they were able to learn from it and to move on, we see them and think they have triumphed. While we still carry on to our pain, making it feel like it's permanent. It is not permanent, it's a lie. It's a lie from the pit of hell. It is not permanent. It is not permanent. So cling to lying vanities is to magnify temporary until it looks eternal. It is to forget that life is dynamic and seasons shift. Today can be so terrible. You can cry, you can be depressed, you can all the synonyms, but you can still wake up tomorrow morning and decide to have joy, experience joy in your soul, even if the situation hasn't changed. Good evening, Kojo. Thank you for being on. It doesn't matter how today has been like troubling, disheartening, sad, sorrowful, hopeless, we can still wake up tomorrow and decide that regardless of what yesterday was, I still want joy in my soul, joy in my heart, and it will still be possible. It is all lying vanities. When our heart makes us feel like a huchina ewumuno and sasada and sakrae beba, life is not supposed to be just hardship and hardship and hardship. Life is dynamic and seasons shift. History itself testifies that no crisis lasts forever. COVID, aren't we here in 2025? No hardship is supposed to last forever. Nations have rebuilt after wars, disastrous wars. They have rebuilt. It doesn't matter how disastrous our lives get, we can still rebuild regardless of our ages. Anytime we have the awareness that I don't want to live broken, I don't want to live miserable again, we can rebuild life. We can rebuild life at any age, at any situation, at any point in time, and we can still end up so beautifully. None of us can go back to tomorrow, to yesterday. to the very beginning to go and start anew, afresh. But as long as we have life, we cannot decide that from tomorrow I would make changes that would transform my life into the beautiful life I desire. And so it would end for us. History itself teaches that no crisis lasts forever. Nations have rebuilt after wars. People got to ground zero and they rebuilt their lives again. And today they are happy, living peacefully. Individuals have risen from the ashes of failure to the heights of success. There are people all around us that testify to this. The same truth applies to every hardship you and I face today. This too shall pass. This too shall pass. Every form of hardship shall pass. This too shall pass. What matters then is not whether hardship come or not, but how we respond when they arrive. It is not about whether we'll face hardships or not, because they are part of life. They will eventually come. But how you and I respond when they arrive is what separates us from the ordinary. If we believe the lie that difficulties are endless, we lose hope and collapse under their weight. If we lose hope, if we believe the lie that difficulties are endless, that's for us, we'll never be happy, we'll never get joy, we'll never find peace, we'll never be prosperous, we'll never be healthy, we'll never be. If we believe these lies, they are lying vanities. If we believe in this lie, then we lose hope and collapse under that weight. And as long as it stays in our conscious minds, eventually that is what life will show to us. If we believe we are deserving of love, then the kind of love that will find us, it would amaze us. If we believe we are deserving of a better life, then a better life is equally searching for us. And very soon, we would collide face to face. So let's stop believing the lie that hardships will be forever, that this is the way our lives will end. There is a better prospect we haven't encountered yet. If you remember that struggles are temporary, we find the strength to endure, the courage to keep moving, and the patience to wait for the dawn after the night. If we, you and I, remember that struggles are temporary, we find the strength to endure. We find the courage to keep moving and the patience to wait for the dawn after the night. It means whatever we go through, we know the end will come. So we go through them gracefully. In the end, hardships do not define us. Hardships do not define us. Our responses to them does. So regardless of the hardships you are going through, they are not supposed to define you. It is your response to them that should define you. The lying vanities of despair may try to cloud our vision, but truth always breaks through. Life changes, seasons shift, and no pain lasts forever. No pain lasts forever. It doesn't matter the magnitude of your pain. No pain lasts forever. The people you see and you think they are so happy, they are so prosperous, they are so exciting, it is because you don't know the full story of their lives. If they open up and share with you, life changes, seasons shift, and no pain lasts forever. If we hold on with faith, If you and I hold on with faith, resilience, and hope, we'll one day look back at today, 2025, 7th September, and realize they were not permanent walls. If you and I hold on with faith, resilience, and hope, we'll one day look back at today. We'll look back at today's struggles and realize they were not permanent walls. They were not permanent walls at all, but passing storms. Passing storms that cleared the sky for brighter days. If we could picture the brighter days ahead, anka yɛnkoma bɛtɔ yɛn yam. Anka there will be so much joy and peace in our hearts that every storm will calm itself. It won't be like this forever. It wouldn't. It wouldn't. If we hold on with faith, resilience, and hope, we'll one day look back at today's struggles, all the struggles today. We'll look back some time to come and realize they were not permanent walls, but passing storms. And we know every storm, no storm stands still. Every storm is passing. It doesn't matter how strong a wind is, it will still pass. They were not permanent walls, but passing storms that cleared the sky for brighter days. Yes, I understand. Life is full of what's the word? Life is full of paradoxes. And one of the greatest is this: success and struggle are both temporary. Success and struggles are both temporary. Neither define the whole story of our lives. Yet many people fall into the trap of believing that what they see today is the permanent truth about their future. Who is scared we are here, and they will say money answers all things. If you were raised from a rich home and yet your parents died poor, broken, you know money is not everything. If you were raised from a poor home and yet you saw your parents' life transforming, you realize that, listen, nothing is permanent in this life. Life is full of paradoxes, and one of the greatest is that success and struggle are both temporary. Neither defines the whole story of our lives. And that is why when we are taking an entrenched position in life, we just wink and pass. Because it's today all of us have seen. No one knows tomorrow. No one knows tomorrow. Neither defines the whole story of our lives. Yet many people fall into the trap of believing that what they see today is the permanent truth about their future. The truth is far deeper. Today's success does not guarantee tomorrow's fulfillment. And today's struggles do not determine your end, meaning nothing is permanent. Today's success does not guarantee tomorrow's fulfillment, and today's struggles do not determine your ending. Whatever you're going through is not the end of your life, whether it's good or bad. There are unfolding layers to your life you haven't opened yet. Success, while worth celebrating, is fragile. What you achieve today may bring applause, recognition, or comfort, but it does not automatically translate into lasting fulfillment. Fulfillment is a deeper state. Fulfillment is a deeper state. It is not just about achievement, but about aligning with purpose, values, and impact. Many people have experienced worldly success but still wrestled with emptiness because success without meaning feels hollow. If you stop growing after today's victory, you risk stagnation. If you make success your identity, you risk losing yourself when circumstances change. Have you found out why people commit suicide? And have you even found out why a rich man's wives divorce them? If life was just about money, then they were supposed to be the happiest of the wives. Why do the rich man's wives divorce them? If you stop growing after today's victory, you risk stagnation. If you make success your identity, you risk losing yourself when circumstances change. In the same way, struggle is also deceptive. Struggle is equally deceptive. Whatever struggle you know, type it in the comment section there. I know hardship, I know pain, I know failure, I know being broken. 1983, my dad was so rich that we could give food to other people in the neighborhood in his home. And yet he died a poor man. Nti wohu hwee wɔ wiase that you just talk. To him, he died unfulfilled, whereby he died living a lot of things. So there are different angles to life we don't know yet. It is because he's past. That's why I can share his story. And that's why we see people, we think they are so successful, and yet they can't look at their lives and consider it a meaningful life. In the same way, struggle is also deceptive. Hardship, pain, and failure may convince you that this is the story of your life. Oh, you are 30, you are 40, you are 50, nothing has happened for you. It means that is the end of your story. That is the lie from the pit of hell. Even within a space of 12 months, meaning a whole year, you can transform your life into anything you want. Why do we buy into this lying vanities? Struggle is only a chapter, not the whole book. Today's struggles are shaping resilience, wisdom, and strength for tomorrow. They are not a loss, they are not a waste. History is filled with men and women who endured crushing difficulties, only to rise later as symbols of hope and inspiration. Struggle is not your final verdict, even if you accept for it, even if you settle for it. Struggle is not your final verdict. It is often the refining fire that prepares you for greater seasons ahead. Struggle is not and should not be your final verdict. It is supposed to prepare you, often the refining fire that prepares you for greater seasons ahead. Why do you give up? Because of your struggles, because of your pain. Do you know other people's pains? Do you know other people's struggles and yet they are marching on and you see them and you clap for them? The key, therefore, is perspective. The key, therefore, is perspective. Do not rest too much on today's successes. Do not rest too much on today's successes. If you can do more, go do more. And do not despair too much in today's struggles. If you can do more, if you can get out of it, if you can get wisdom, knowledge, information as to why your struggle has kept this long, things will change. Do not despair too much in today's struggles too, because it can change. Life is a continuum. Life is a continuum. Life is a continuum. What matters most is your willingness to keep growing, is your willingness to keep aligning with your deeper purpose and to keep moving forward no matter what today looks like. What matters most is your willingness to keep growing. You fall down, you rise up, you learn, you keep going. Your willingness to keep growing. Your willingness to keep aligning with your deeper purpose. And to keep moving forward no matter what today looks like. No matter what yesterday looked like. No matter what yesterday looked like. No matter what today looks like. No matter what tomorrow will look like. Keep moving forward. No matter what yesterday looked like. It doesn't matter the struggles of yesterday. No matter what yesterday looked like, regardless of what today looks like, and regardless of what tomorrow will look like, keep moving forward. Keep moving forward. Keep moving forward and turn around in 10 years' time to watch your life. In the end, success and struggle are both temporary teachers. Success and struggle are both temporary teachers. Success and struggle are both temporary teachers. You determine how long each of them stays with you. Celebrate victories, but don't become complacent. You can become more. Regardless of how your life has evolved, you can do more, you can become more, you can give more. Endure struggles, but don't lose hope. Endure struggles, but don't lose hope. And find ways you can get out of those struggles. The real measure of life is not what today says, but how we shape tomorrow with faith, resilience, and intention. The real measure of life, your life and my life, is not what today looks like, but how we shape tomorrow with faith, resilience, and intention. Ebi mu si super o, but omewie anyɛ fɛ. It is the end of a man that matters. So the real measure of life is not what today says. It's not what today looks like, but how we shape tomorrow with faith, resilience, and intention. So always remember, your current state is not your final state. Whatever today looks like for you is not and should not be your final state. Even if you're born in a poor home, that might not be your fault, but dying poor would be your fault. We have a say in the turnout of our lives. Our current state is not our final state. We can do so much about it. Success is a stepping stone, not the finish line. Success is a stepping stone, not the finish line. And struggles are chapters too. Struggles are chapters too, not conclusions. You don't need to be an author to understand this. Uko school choice. Utumi twerɛ biara na wankasa wokaa no nyɛ wo da na woatwam na woatwerɛ foforɔ. As an author, sometimes you just want to write one chapter. Wobɛtwerɛ. It won't make the meaning you want, and you have to just destroy those pages and rewrite. Yeah? Success is a stepping stone, not the finish line. And struggles are only chapters, not the conclusions. The future remains unwritten, and you and I hold the pen. The future remains unwritten, and you and I hold the pen. If we hold the pen, then it means we can go back anytime. And when we put footstops, we can erase them and put commas there. Did you understand what I just said? If we hold the pen, it means we can go back into the chapters. And when we put full stop, we can go and erase that full stops and put commas there. Once you see a comma, it means the sentence is not completed yet. Mhm. It means we can edit anytime. Life happens, and still what matters is our capacity to match on regardless. Life happens. Life happens. Thank you for being on, Eze. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Life happens, and so what matters is our capacity to match on regardless. Ɛtɔ da planning. Nti na wo obi asɛm na wopɛ sɛ woka bi a, then you just leave some space because we don't know it all. Life happens, and still what matters is our capacity to match on regardless. Life, by its very nature, is unpredictable. One of the videos I showed you this book. I don't know if you can see it properly. One of the videos I show you this. Okay. I don't know if you can see. This is it. Because of the sticker at that time, it went into the book. It was 2000. So it is the 010 has gone inside there. The 0 here is gone inside there. It is 2000. Many of the things I'm doing today were things I wrote them down in 2000. I'll do a separate video because you can see this properly. The courage and the wisdom to do many of those things were not there yet. 2000. How many years now? 23. And that's why when I hear people saying knowledge is power, I just wink and pass. Knowledge is not power. It's the applied knowledge that is power. Many of the things I'm doing today in my 50s were things I'd written down 23 years ago. 23 years ago. That's why knowing is not enough. Just knowing is not enough. Just knowing is not enough. So don't just take pride in the fact that you know. If you know and you don't do, you are just like somebody who doesn't know too. Knowing is not enough, my dear one. You buying a book and not reading is like somebody who hasn't even heard that that book exists. No difference. You getting knowledge and not using that knowledge is like somebody who hasn't even gotten access to that knowledge. No difference. So it's not knowledge that is power. It is the application of knowledge that is power. It is the application of knowledge. Life, by its very nature, is unpredictable. It does not always unfold according to our plans, dreams, or expectations. It does not always unfold according to our dreams, plans, and expectations. One moment we are on a mountaintop of joy, and the next we find ourselves walking through valleys of pain. One moment we are on a mountaintop of joy, and the next we find ourselves walking through valleys of pain, discomfort, and all that. Setbacks, disappointments, losses, and sudden changes are part of the human journey. So once a wofa hardship yi mu a, ɛbɛyɛ wo sɛ life has given up on you. Nobody is on your side, and everything is against you, and things can't work out again. Things will change. Things will change. They are parts of the human journey. Yet, in the face of all these realities, one truth stands firm, and that is what matters most is not what happens to us, but our capacity to march on regardless. In the face of all these struggles, all the hardships, everything you are going through that is unpleasant, every disappointment, setback, losses, sudden changes, things you never bargained for, they are all part of the human journey. And the truth that stands firm is that what matters most is not what happens to us, but our capacity to march on regardless. Send a bay out of my own cow, out of my sorry, and you march on. The strongest people are not those who have lived without hardship. They are those who have endured storms, yet refused to stop moving. The strongest people are not those who have lived without hardships. They are those who have endured storms, yet refused to stop moving. Life is less about avoiding challenges and more about building resilience in the midst of them. If we avoid challenges, it means we avoid growth too. We can never grow without challenges. It's like going to school and say, as for me, I hate exams. How would you get to the next class? How are we supposed to get into the next level if we don't pass these trials and go through these storms? So life is less about avoiding challenges and more about building resilience in the midst of these challenges. The storms may come, yes, but if we learn how to keep walking, if you and I learn how to keep walking, sometimes even crawling, if we must, in the midst of that challenges, we prove that circumstances do not define our destiny. The challenges will come. But if we learn to keep walking, even if it demands that we crawl in the midst of that storm, just to pass through them, we prove that circumstances do not define our destiny because we get through them. Marching on regardless does not mean ignoring pain or pretending that hardships don't hurt. I understand. Your story is legit. Your pain is legitimate. I understand. Your pain is valid. All the reasons you give, they are valid. And still, if we want to grow, we have to march on regardless. So marching on regardless does not mean ignoring pain or pretending that hardships don't hurt. They do hurt so badly. But it means acknowledging the weight of life's realities, but choosing not to be paralyzed by them. It means accepting that, yes, this is overwhelming, but I'll find a way to get out of this. It's about understanding that life does not stop because of our struggles, and neither should we. When we are going through hardships, do life stop? No, everything keeps going. So why should we stand still just because we are going through struggles? Life does not stop. because we are going through struggles. And neither should we. Neither should we. If life does not stop because we are going through struggles and we decide to stop, we'll be left over. We'll be left behind. Every step forward, however small, is a statement of courage and a declaration of hope. So, whatever you are doing, businesses can fail, relationships can fail, sometimes attack on your health. Every form of hardship and struggle, we are not supposed to stay stagnant. We march on, we find knowledge, we find understanding, we find how we are supposed to get out of those hardships. Because life will not stand still because we are going through struggles. And neither should we. Every step forward, it doesn't matter the small baby steps we take, it's a statement of courage and a declaration of hope. Those who succeed are not the ones who never fail or the ones who never fall. They are the ones who got back up each time life knocked them down. Those who succeed are not the ones who never fail. They are the ones who got back each time life knocked them down. Why should life knock you and I down and we stay down? No, we'll rise up and keep going. They knew that challenges were temporary and that perseverance was permanent. They knew, they understood that challenges were temporary. It is only perseverance that is supposed to be permanent. So anytime they fall down, they rise up and they keep marching. They are bruised and yet they are marching on. They are wounded and yet they are marching on. They are betrayed and they are marching on. Healing, finding support system, finding knowledge, finding understanding, getting information, and they are marching on. To march on is to keep your vision in sight, even when your feet are heavy. To march on is to keep your vision in sight, even when your feet are heavy. It is to believe that brighter days are possible, that better days are coming, even when the skies are dark. To march on is to keep your vision in sight, even when your feet are heavy. Is to take one step, one small step after another, even when your feet are heavy. It is to believe that brighter days are possible. It is to believe that you deserve a better life. Even when the skies are dark, even when everything around you indicates that nothing good is coming forth. In the end, life will always happen. Life will always happen. Sometimes beautifully, sometimes unfortunately, painfully. In the end, life would always happen. Sometimes beautifully, joyously, but sometimes too painfully. That our capacity to endure, rise, and to continue is what will shape our stories. Our capacity to endure, rise, and continue regardless is what will shape our story. The test of greatness is not in living a life free of trouble, but in building the strength to move forward no matter what comes your way. The test of greatness It's not in living a life free of hardships, a life free of pain, but in building the strength to move forward no matter what comes our way. So when life happens, and it will surely will, it surely will. When life happens, remember this. Your capacity to march on regardless is what transforms hardship into resilience, pain into wisdom, and survival into triumph. Because life will surely happen. It doesn't matter how we plan, it doesn't matter how we prepare. Life will surely happen. Sometimes beautifully than even we plan for. Unfortunately, sometimes painfully, regardless of the preparations we put into. But our capacity to endure, rise, and continue is what will shape our story and end our lives beautifully. So when life happens, remember that our capacity to march on regardless is what transforms hardship, what transforms pain, what transforms struggles. Put the rest in there. Our capacity to march on regardless is what transforms all these struggles into resilience, and our pain into wisdom, and survival into triumph. So time itself does not heal anything. When you hear time will heal, don't mind them. Time in itself doesn't heal anything. It is what we do within time. Our capacity to march on regardless is what will transform hardship into resilience, pain into wisdom, and survival into triumph. The same pain others going through, and today it has become their power. That same pain has destroyed a lot. So time itself does nothing. It is what we do within time that transforms our lives. I think this is another thing I have to expand on it too. Time itself brings us nothing. It is what we do within time, what we do with time that bring the change we desire. Our capacity to march on regardless is what transforms hardship into resilience, pain into wisdom, and survival into triumph. Every human being, you and I, every human being encounters seasons of hardship. No life is exempted from struggle, loss, or disappointment. What distinguishes one person from another is not the absence of difficulty. Onipa bi wɔ hɔ na wahyɛ n'abrabɔ a ɔbɛka kyerɛ wo sɛ wanya struggles biara. Osii so na biribiara was so easy, rosy from day one to the very day he or she was speaking. It doesn't matter. Even if life was built and handed over to people, their ability, their capacity to protect and manage it took them through hardships. Every human being encounters seasons of hardships. Sometimes you hear people's hardships, and if you are not trained, you'll be tempted to laugh because you look at what you are carrying that is so much heavy, and you weigh yours against theirs, and you think, why should this be a problem to you? That is their problem. That is their problem. And it's not in your place to say, why are you carrying this, which is not a problem. That is the way they feel and think. Either you help them or pass until you get into where they are standing to see from their edge, you will never understand them. So every human being encounters seasons of hardship. No life is exempted from struggles, loss, or disappointments. Struggles, losses, or disappointments are a part of the journey of life. What distinguishes one person from another is not the absence of difficulty, but the ability to face it and to move forward. The ability to face it and to move forward. It is in this very capacity to march on regardless, even when the odds are against us, that we find the hidden alchemy of transformation, huge transformation. So that when people share their stories, you don't believe it. Hardship turns into resilience, power evolves into wisdom, and mere survival becomes triumph. So both of you went through the same experience, but they came out triumph. They came out with great wisdom, and yours is destroying you because of your capacity to handle it. Hardship by itself does not automatically make any of us stronger. Hardship by itself does not automatically make us stronger. If it's left unchecked, it can break us, it can destroy us, it can breed bitterness or cause despair. So we shouldn't take pride in living in these difficulties forever, thinking that it will make us wise. No, it can destroy us, it can break us, it can breed bitterness or even cause despair. It is when we choose to endure and still keep moving, still keep getting knowledge, getting understanding, getting wisdom, and applying this knowledge to make our lives better. When we choose to endure and to keep moving, that hardship becomes the training ground for resilience. Each time we rise after falling, we prove to ourselves that we are stronger than we once thought. How would you know you are stronger than you thought if you don't rise up and march on? Are you just march on because you are taking steps, or you are taking steps with knowledge, with understanding, and with wisdom? Each time we rise after falling, we prove to ourselves that we are stronger than we once thought. This resilience, built through persistence, becomes the backbone for greater victories ahead. Nti ebi baby no challenges be back whilst everybody, it is normal to you. It has become a part of life journey and you understand it. Pain, too, is a universal experience. Everybody goes through pain. Yet pain can either cripple us or enlighten us. The same experience. It can either cripple us or enlighten us. When we allow ourselves to reflect and learn, pain reveals lessons that comfort never could. It is only when we reflect and learn that pain can reveal lessons that comfort never could. It teaches us empathy, humility, and perspective. Pain sharpens our vision, forcing us to see what truly matters in life. In this way, our willingness to keep marching through pain transforms it into wisdom, making us not only stronger, but also wiser. So if you go through pain and you do nothing, nothing happens for you. You will still be through the pain as long as you allow that pain. But if you reflect and learn through that pain, you come out wiser. You gain wisdom, you gain understanding, you gain knowledge. regardless of our pain. If we ignore the pain, if we ignore the pain and thinking that it will go by itself, nothing would happen. But if we reflect and learn, then we can gain wisdom, making us stronger and wiser too. Survival at its rawest is simply holding on when everything tells you and I to let go. Survival becomes triumph when you refuse to give up, when you choose not just to endure, but to overcome. The very act of marching on, taking one baby step, one more breath, one more chance, turns what could have been the end of our story into a powerful testimony. So it's not how long we go through hardship, but it's what we do if we want to turn our situations around. Triumph is not reserved for the unscared. It belongs to those who refused to surrender. In the end, life is not defined by what happens to us. Life is not defined by what happens to us, by how we respond to what happens to us, because everybody goes through a form of hardship. The capacity to march on regardless is more than persistence. The capacity to march on regardless is more than persistence. It is a declaration of hope. It is a declaration of hope, courage, and faith in a better tomorrow. It is the bridge that carries us from struggle to strength, from pain to purpose, and from survival to victory. So when life knocks you down, remember this truth. Your triumph is hidden in your refusal to stop, your refusal to give up, your capacity to march on regardless. Therefore, keep marching. Life is a journey filled with twists, turns, and unexpected challenges. No one walks through it without stumbling or being tested by adversity. No one. If you know anyone, tell me, and I'll go find out from the person what he or she is supposed to teach us. Maybe they know what we don't know, so they should teach us. No one goes through life without any form of struggle. Yet what separates those who rise from those who remain defeated is not lack, it's not talent or even opportunity. It is persistence. No one walks through life without stumbling or being tested by adversity. Yet what separates those who rise from those who remain defeated is not luck, talent, or even opportunity. It is persistence. Our triumph is hidden in our refusal to stop. Therefore, keep marching. Keep marching. Many people give up not because they are incapable. You have no idea the capacity you have until you put it to work. Many people give up not because they are incapable, but because they underestimate the power of endurance. Obstacles are not signs to quit, they are tests of commitment. Every step forward, even when taken with trembling feet, moves you closer to the life you dream of. The path to triumph is really smooth. Go interview anybody that you desire their lives. Let them tell you whether the path to triumph was smooth. It is rarely smooth, but it's always navigable to those who keep walking. Once we keep walking, we'll find our way. Refusing to stop does not mean life would suddenly become easy. Refusing to stop does not mean life will suddenly become easy. It means choosing courage over despair, faith over fear, and movement over paralysis. Whilst they are stopping, you are still marching on. Even if it's baby steps, you are still taking it. There would always be days when progress feels invisible. The moments that I say, the OBEBI doesn't bring you the results you want, but you continue doing it. There would always be days that regardless of what you put in, it looks like the results is not what you anticipate, but you don't give up. Continue marching on, continue doing it, putting in more energy. When the weight of struggle seems unbearable, there would always be days that the weight of struggle will seem unbearable. When progress will feel invisible, it is normal part of the journey. It is in those very moments that persistence is most powerful. When you march despite the pain, when you prove that difficulty does not define you, your determination does. History is filled with stories of people who found victory not in brilliance, not just in brilliance alone, but in their unwillingness to quit. They pressed forward when others turned back. They pushed through rejection, loss, and failure until their breakthrough came. Triumph is not an instant event, but a cumulative reward of countless moments of endurance. Triumph is not an instant event. It just happened. Here this is it. No, it is a cumulative reward of countless moments of endurance. In the end, success is not promised to the swift or the strong, but to the steadfast. In the end, success is not promised to the swift or the strong, but to the steadfast. Our refusal to stop in the seed, our refusal to stop in the times of hardship is the seed of our eventual victory. When we refuse to stop in the midst of that challenge, that is when the seed of our eventual victory is gained. Each step we take in resilience, no matter how small, plants the foundation of a triumph we may not see yet. So when life grows heavy and the road feels endless, remember this truth. When your life grows heavy, when life gets overwhelming and the road feels endless, remember this truth. Your triumph is closer than it looks, and it is hidden in your refusal to give up. Keep marching, my dear one. Keep marching. Keep marching regardless. When it looks like it's so overwhelming, when it looks like area bi amfi baabi amma bio, when it looks like say ya na bɛyɛ nsakra bi amma, Know that after every dawn, before the dawn breaks, the darkness is many a time heavy. It's very, very heavy. So when life feels very overwhelming, remember that your triumph is closer than it looks, and it is hidden in your refusal to give up. Until I come your way again, same time, same space tomorrow, I say much love and blessings. Never forget, never forget that all the lying vanities, the hardships, and unpleasant situations will not last forever. They are illusions that whisper permanence in what is only temporary. Much love and blessings.